from Swanky 93.3 and the Heat 94.6 brings back the hottest hip-hop radio show live from K.L.P. Entertainment and K.L.P. Studios. Go! It's K.L.P. Aftermath. Morning with your host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas.
You know what it is? Put your hands up.
Tune in now on any audio platform.
Go.
Y'all know what time it is. Yeah, buddy.
Kennedy Lucas.
Let's go.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we back again. Hey. Come on now.
Pick up the bass, baby, I'ma shine.
Boys and girls, welcome back into the studio. We welcome y'all to Extraordinary Podcast. Let me get my seat right. There we go. Now we cooking. Boy, howdy. Yeah, man. Hey. Shout out to all the May babies out there, man. We're going to get into proceedings. Birthday was yesterday, man. Officially 29. Hey, and feeling good, too. Feeling good, T. Shout out to all the podcasters, man. All the entrepreneurs, the business people. Shout out to all the mothers. We'll get to that, too. Happy belated Mother's Day if you missed it. Boy, howdy, we got a good one for y'all today, man. We got a long one. Hey. Shout out to the Atlanta people. Shout out to everybody out there in the world. Shout out to the money makers. Shout out to the music producers, film directors, executive producers, engineers. Shout out to y'all, man. Ow. Shout out to the ladies. Ow. Summer's around the corner, y'all. I tell you, summer's around the corner. Oh, shout out to Dude Wipes. Shout out to Dude Wipes. My ass been feeling clean lately. Hey. Shout out to all the tourists, man. It's still our month. Shout out to the gym goers. Shout out to Crunch. Shout out to all the people out there in the world, man. Hey. 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 How the girls be? They be like, they be doing all that. Hey. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Yeah, we back. We back again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to an extraordinary podcast here today. I'm your gracious, your highly favorite, your humble podcast host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas here. Live and in the building. Thank y'all. Had to get my seat right, you know. But yeah, welcome, guys. Welcome to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We are so glad that you're here with us on a Tuesday night. Look, we're so thankful. We're so thankful for everybody that's tuning in. And, you know, when we get a lot of great things into the studio. So I got to give a special shout out to Rode. Y'all see it, special headphones today. We got sponsored by Rode for 2 new headphones. Evelyn will have a new one. Again, what happened was podcast will be coming back on Monday. I repeat, it's coming back on Monday. You know, Evelyn, she's filming right now, but she'll be back here in the studio with our next new episode on Monday. And she get to explore the new headphones. They sound pretty good in the headphones there, T. But shout out to everybody out there in the world. Welcome again. Let me tell y'all, let's get on into it. Get on into it. This past weekend was extraordinary weekend. We'll start off with Mother's Day. You know, you can't forget about the mothers out there today. And I'll give you guys a whole story about my whole weekend and my whole day as of yesterday. Yesterday was my birthday. We'll get to that. So Sunday was Mother's Day. We were very, very glad to surprise our mother this year. You know, every year we try to do something special for our mothers, right? And I think this one's a little bit more special because it's always important to celebrate mothers if you got them still in your life and you're able to see them every day, call them every day. I even called my mother before recording tonight because we had to talk about some stuff. But having that moment to be with my mom on Mother's Day was fantastic. I tell y'all the whole weekend. Saturday, it all started really Saturday when I went to the gym. Shout out to Crunch Snellville. Shout out to y'all. I love y'all over there. And then I ended up going to Pandora. Again, this is not a flex on the talk show or the podcast to say, haha, look what I'm doing for my mother. It's not a flex, but you can't really put a price on gifting your parents. You can't really go cheap on gifting your parents because my mom in particular has done a lot for us for our K.L.P Entertainment as an investor, with K.L.P Entertainment, and as my mom, and being there helping me out through some thick and thin stuff. I've been through some downs, and my mom was there. I've been through some ups, and my mom was there. So was my dad. So I had to gift her something very, very special this year for Mother's Day. And I honestly got to think that it's a little bit tough this year because I don't have any more grandmas. Sad to say, both my grandmas have passed away. And both my great grandmas have passed away, right? So I don't have any grandmas left, and I have 2 grandpas left, right? So we want to cherish these moments when we able to have our mothers and our grandmothers. Our whole family still think about all of our grandmas that are no longer here with us. They're all in heaven, smiling down from heaven at us. So I ended up going to Pandora, and I knew that I needed to get something special for my mama because my mom, again, she's been my rock. She's been my rock for my whole life, right? But she's been an extra rock of mine these past few years. And I go in there, I step into Pandora, a lot of people were in Pandora, believe it or not. A lot of people were shopping for their loved ones, their mothers. And, there was a dad with his 2 sons shopping for their mother. There was a young lady who was shopping for her mother, and everybody was looking around at the jewelry. And I felt kind of exclusive because, there was you had to get checked in, right? And they had a whole bunch of ladies, and believe it or not, there's a lot of ladies that work in Pandora. There's a lot of cute girls that work in Pandora. So, I'm coming from the gym. I'm pumped up. I'm muscled. I'm just worked out. I'm a little sweaty, but I'm cooling down because I just worked out, but I needed to go to Pandora right after the gym, y'all. And I'm over here just, hey, I got my wallet out, and I know I'm about to spend some money, right? It's Pandora. You're going to spend some money. So then, I'm waiting around. Cute girls looking at me, but they're assisting the other people. So I'm like, you feeling me? Are you feeling me? Okay, watch what I'm about to do real quick. So they said my name, serving up next, Kennedy. And I was like, yeah, I'm right here. And, young lady comes out, very cute, very cute girl. She said, hey, hi, my name is such and such. What can I do for you? And I said, I'm shopping for my mom. Tomorrow's Mother's Day, so I'm shopping for my mom. I need to get her something very special because my mom's my whole world. Boy howdy, when I tell you, she looked up and she smiled like she was in love with me. She was like, oh my God, this guy's doing a lot for his mama. And then her sales associate next to her, she looked up, she looked at me, and I smiled at her, and then she smiled back. I'm like, yeah, big dog over here. So I ended up picking out the jewelry, and I said, I want that one right there. And I blurbed out, I looked at this bracelet at X amount of dollars. I'm not going to name the cost of it because, again, I want people to pocket watch. But then I was like, yeah, let me get that one right there. That dollar amount one right there. I want that one. And then the sales associate's like, oh, very good. She was like, oh, very good. Big money, So I'm getting checked out, and, she's helping me out with that. And, I was able to get her some jewelry. And, the sales associate said, yeah, she loves that bracelet as well. She actually got something for her mom. Her mom, she told me, the sales associate, she told me that her mom was at the beach for Mother's Day. She went on the beach, which rightfully so. Hey, I get it. When you're at the beach and you have the time to enjoy, you have the time to enjoy that moment. So I ended up, checking out and doing that, going home, resting, doing my thing. And then the next day was Mother's Day, Sunday, and I was able to get up, go to church. Shout out to Next Level Church in Monroe. Always a great shout out to them. We went to church on Mother's Day. It was something that was very, very special about this church service on Mother's Day, because they were celebrating Mother's Day. They were celebrating the mothers. And if you guys know, and give you guys a little tidbit about the church that I go to in particular. When I go to the church that I go to, there's a lot of things that the ladies are going through. You know, a lot of ladies that go to my church, they're going through some real life things that's in the world, whether it's financial or it's personal or it's physical or it's intellectual. A lot of ladies are going through some tough stuff, right? There's this one lady that they honored her the most because what she wanted for Mother's Day was all three of her daughters to come to church with her. All three of the daughters came to church, and that was like a heartfelt thing there when it comes down to it. Pastor Dion, shout out to her, they did this praise break to where it wasn't, she did her word and she read her scripture, but at the beginning of church, they prayed for all the mothers. And the word of that was well done. That was the word that Pastor Dion said, because moms go through a lot. Guys, we got to acknowledge that our ladies go through a lot when it comes down to birthing kids, down to their periods, down to hormonal things that they got going on. Ladies go through a lot, right? They're going through a lot of things. So I try to be patient for my ladies, try to be gentle to my ladies, because I know, right? I've got a mother and two sisters. So I know the things ladies go through, right? So they're going through that, and then they're going to a praise break. Both the apostle and preacher, they, praised, they gave prayer to everybody. There is really such an experience. Now, apostle, his real name is Ramon, but apostle prayed for me, and I felt something there. It felt like the Holy Ghost. I ain't gonna lie, it felt like the Holy Ghost that was in my spirit. That's a good feeling to have. But the ladies, they're going through a lot of stuff, T, when it comes down to figuring this thing we call life, right? I've been preaching this thing for years now, that things are more expensive, things are high, people are going through stuff. Young parents, because there's a lot of young parents that go to my church too, trying to figure out how to make the next meal, pay the next bill. Oh, we need some Huggies for little John over here because he's running through diapers left and right. People are going through a whole lot. And I thank God, first and foremost, that allowed me to be able to do the things that I do and to not be as stressed out, to not be as in a rut that I was in. I'm a little bit more proactive. I'm not saying that I'm financially free, but I'm financially loose, I would say. And it was just, it's such a good blessing to have, just not stressed so much. I can come and do my job here on the radio show and do my job in K.L.P Entertainment with success, with ease, without less stress. So it's just one of those things that it really gets impactful for me. So it's always a good feeling for church. And then we got the word. And of course, we were able to celebrate with our churchgoers at church. It's always a great feeling. And then moving on, we had a surprise for our mom. She had no idea. She thought first of all, my mom thought that she had a surprise at her house. That wasn't the case. We punched into GPS to her house. And she thought that she's got a surprise at her house, that everybody was going to meet up at her house. My sister told her, wear something nice, right? Wear something nice for church, right? Because we had to keep it a secret. And then my mom asked me at church, hey, what do y'all got up y'all sleeve? I said, I don't know. Obviously, I knew what was going on, y'all, but I was like, So we ended up driving to Maggiano's little Italian food in Atlanta. And that's her favorite restaurant, by the way. And we pulled up. He was like, oh, wow, look at that. And then she looked over and she looked so surprised, like, yeah, got you. And we surprised her with a Mother's Day a dinner, all 5 of us. I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters, and all 5 of us surprised our mom for Mother's Day, along with Tony, her fiance, and our other half sister, Nadia. So it's just one of those things that it was very, very impactful to have everybody together and have her celebrate Mother's Day. So that was always a good feeling. Shout out to mothers out there. It was so good. It was such a great day. My mom enjoyed it. It was a rainy day. It was a long day because when I got home, boy, howdy, let me tell you, I was tired. I slumped. I went straight to bed. I was so tired. And Then the next day, now we get into the good stuff. My birthday. My birthday was yesterday. I'm officially 29. I tell y'all what I did for my birthday. I woke up. I slept in, right? I'm already getting the notifications on my phone, T. Everybody's tweeting, everybody's Facebooking, everybody's Instagramming me, messaging me, text messaging me, DMing me, happy birthday. So I slept in. My dad called me. And then my dad said, hey, what you got planned for today? I said, Dad, I'm still in the bed. I'm still in the bed. And my dad laughed, but I'm like, yeah, I'm getting old. I'm not saying I'm a grandpa, but I'm getting old, right? I don't get up. Some people make it a super spectacle on their birthday. And I get why they do. But when it comes down to me, I'm going to relax a minute. I'm going to sleep in. I'm going to get my sleep in. And then I'm going to get up. And then I'm going to get my thing going when it comes down to it. I'm going to get up nice and fresh, energized. I'm ready to go, ready to rock. And then I'm going to start my day. So I slept in. I had some great sleep. I woke up. I said, hey, the older you get, I like a chill birthday, right? So, excuse me, I got up. I got dressed. I ended up going shopping. I did do some shoe shopping. If you guys, excuse me, a little secret about me, I'm starting my shoe collection. I'm starting to collect shoes a lot more frequently now. By the grace of God, because we're working hard for it. So I went shopping for some shoes. My brother, they gave me some flowers. Love those flowers. We got up. We went to Firebirds. Firebirds is a great restaurant. I ordered me some nice salmon, some crunchy salmon, and some vegetables. That was very nice. My sister came. She gave me a balloon and a gift bag with some candy and a gift card. And then Tony gave me a birthday card with a gift card inside of it as well. And we had everybody there to celebrate my birthday. We ate, we talked, we laughed, we chilled. And then after that, I went home. Of course, I closed K.L.P Entertainment, except for that night. Renee Smith did One Big Question. That was kind of a pre-recorded we did. But Renee Smith did One Big Question. But I closed K.L.P Entertainment. I went straight home. I got in my pajamas. I played some video games, to which I do have a video game review on the podcast. I'm a little late to this one. But I played Metroid Dread. I watched WWE Raw, and I called it a day. That's all I need for my birthday. People go out and they do this spectacle thing for their birthday. I just don't do it because I like to sleep. I like to rest. I don't like to do too much because I get tired when I get a little bit older when it comes down to it. So, hence why we're going forward into it now. Coming up next, that was my birthday, by the way. It was a great birthday. Can't complain. It was a great birthday. It was really, really good. Now, let's talk about it because this is kind of going to be a two-parter to WWE's review. Because if you guys don't know, Backlash was on Saturday. They were in St. Louis on Saturday, May 10th. And obviously, I couldn't talk about it until today because obviously yesterday was my birthday. I closed the studio down. So Backlash. Let's start with Backlash first, T. Backlash was in St. Louis, Randy Orton's hometown. Not really a bad pay-per-view. My dad didn't like the pay-per-view. I thought it was not that bad, honestly. So Backlash Backlash results. It was a great show. They gave us some great stuff. John Cena defends his championship against Randy Orton. We'll get to that part because that's kind of the main event there. But it started out for the Fatal 4-Way match. It was Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre. Great match, by the way. Great Fatal 4-Way. This was really the match between Jacob Fatu and LA Knight because when it comes down to Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, they gave us a great bout, but then they were on the crowd and they slammed each other into a table on the crowd and they were out of the match, right? I was really focusing on Jacob Fatu and LA Knight. Now I'm a huge LA Knight fan, but Jacob Fatu, I'm starting to grow on him because he spits nothing but bars when it comes down to him doing his segments. Jacob Fatu's finally getting his glow up, which is good because he's a great wrestler. again, when he cuts his promos, it seems like he's rapping and he's spitting straight fire bars, right? Of course, Jacob Fatu defeats LA Knight within this match when it comes down to the help of Solo Sikoa and Jeff Cobb. Now, Jeff Cobb is part of the family now that now he's going to be a part of the Solo bloodline. I think we're going to have a feud between Jeff Cobb versus Jacob Fatu. There's some tension there because Jacob Fatu, after WrestleMania, after everything, now Jacob Fatu has the gold. He kind of wants to tread his own light. So I do think we're going to see some tension between those two people. I really do. Now, the next match was Laura Valkyria and Becky Lynch. Laura Valkyria wins. They had a good match. Laura Valkyria broke her nose, right? But she gave us straight fire. Laura Valkyria, she's starting to grow on me a little bit because when she wearing those skirts that have the shorts and how thick she look, woo, Lord, mama. And her man was there. Her man was there. Her fiance was there because Becky Lynch taunted her man. Look, hey, you find love where you could find love. I was expecting a stud muffin, but hey, you found love where you found love. I ain't hating. Hey, seeing that give me hope, right? He was funny looking, but in a good way. Like, I'm not picking on Laura Valkyria's man. That's a man. That's who she loves. Love is love. You can't really argue with that. But I was just very shocked. Dominic Mysterio versus Penta. Let me tell you, I was not a big Dominic Mysterio fan at first. But when we saw this match at Backlash on Saturday, Dom Mysterio gave us some stuff, right? Dom Mysterio seems like he's been practicing his moveset, his wrestling skill, his in-ring IQ. That match from Dominic Mysterio was very impressive, right? I was blown away with Dominic Mysterio because he gave us straight fire. Now, I was rooting for Penta because I'm a Penta guy, but now I'm starting to grow on Dominic Mysterio a little bit because he gave us some great fire. He gave us some great move sets, some moves that he's used from Liv, the 619 he got from his dad, but he became a good performer at Backlash. And I think that's really, really good for him because as he develops, as he develops his in-ring IQ, he's going to become better, right? And people love him. People like him. Even Pat McAfee, well, not Pat McAfee because he had a match, but even Michael Cole was kind of surprised because Dominic Mysterio and Wade Barrett, to that matter, he gave us some impressive moves that I just never thought Dominic Mysterio would do. But Dirty Dom pulled it off. I was very, very impressed with that match. Dominic Mysterio wins that match. Then we had Gunther versus Pat McAfee. We all knew Gunther was gonna win, but Pat McAfee gave us a show. He got the dog shit beat out of him though, but he gave us a good match. It was a heartfelt story. Michael Cole got involved too. Would I want to see more of Pat McAfee wrestling? No, because I like him being the commentator. I like him being him on the Pat McAfee show. Obviously, he's not going to be performing like that a lot because he still has a contract as a commentator. He has a long contract with ESPN with his show. So you don't want to beat him up too much to where he can't perform his other duties, right? But Pat McAfee, he got in the ring. He tussled around with Gunther. He gave us a spark, but it was ass kicking. The dog shit bit out of him, right? But I think it kind of ends that story when it comes down to Gunther and Pat McAfee and Michael Cole. I guess it leans into that match now. And then the main event was John Cena and Randy Orton. Great match as well. A lot of refs, Eddie Orango, and I forget who the other ref was in that match, got beat up. So, a lot of people it was bull crap when it came down to the suits coming out because they didn't have another ref. That was bull crap. But I thought Randy was going to get it because it was of him being in his hometown. But I guess John Cena's on this thing where, they're making John Cena keep the belt longer because he is on his farewell tour, right? I would have loved to see Randy see number 15 championships. But, when you look at the story log in, you look at the story of it, you don't really want to have John Cena lose the belt that quickly, right? I get it. Great match, though. I liked how Randy Orton RKO'd everybody, all the suits, Jason Jordan, Jamie Noble, Nick Aldis himself. So we only can wait to see what's going to go down on SmackDown. Fortunately, I won't be able to see the full show because I don't have cable at my house. I just got streaming. But it was a good match. The pre-show, the post-match interviews, the press conference, that is, was very funny when John Cena assaulted R-Truth with a double A. That was pretty funny. That was kind of funny because he was like, Ron, that was over the line. I felt like John Cena was going to whip him like somebody's daddy, because John Cena always talk to somebody like he's somebody's daddy. So I thought he was going to be in timeout. That's what John Cena sounds like. But overall, it was a good backlash. It was not that bad. It was short, but it was really, really good. Now we turn to yesterday, May 12th, my birthday, again, of the Raw results here. Now, Raw was pretty good for the most part, right? They're telling the story. Of course, CM Punk comes out, very heated conversation because he was upset, of course. And then Seth Rollins comes out, do an opening segment with Brian Breaker at the helm. Brian Breaker was huffing and puffing like he was about to, charge at CM Punk. But then when Brian Breaker storms into the room, you had Sami Zayn come out, and then you had Jey Uso come out. It was 3 against 2. Very, very heated moment when it comes down to that. That was pretty good. Then you had it to where at Raw last night, the venue was KFC Yum Center in Louisville, Kentucky. They distribute 10,034 seats were distributed. Tickets were available. The amount of that was 512 tickets still remaining. Pretty good turnout when it comes down to it. You had Penta versus Chad Gable. Here's the thing that was kind of getting annoying with me. Too much of American made, right? You had Chad Gable and Penta. Then you had American made versus the War Raiders. Then you had Chad Gable and team come out again to cut a quick monologue about Americano, right? I hate it when there's a faction or a team that's on TV a little bit too much, right? Because you get tired of it. It's kind of like the same thing. Like, we saw you earlier. Why are we still seeing you again? That's the one thing that is just kind of, a few pods ago, I said, this is the part where they have so much talent. They have so much superstars, but they're not using all of them, right? Where they're recycling the same team. They're recycling the same people. Hopefully WWE kind of steps away from that, because that does get kind of annoying. It does get kind of boring, right? But Penta defeats Chad Gable again. I'm a huge Penta guy. He's kind of redemption from Backlash. American Made defends the War Raiders with the New Day at commentating. The New Day is kind of getting kind of annoying on the commentating side. I wish they didn't give them headphones, because they're kind of annoying, in my opinion. Right? They're the champions. I get it. They're kind of they're selling the story, but they just sound very, very annoying. They sound like the annoying black people, And I can say that because I'm black, but like, they're just kind of annoying. They're annoying the freak out of me when they have on the mic, and they're just like picking on Michael Cole and Pat McAfee, right? So annoying. I like the War Raiders. Right, I do. I like them, but American Made, I get that they're trying to spark them up, and they are also a good team. Again, they are collegiate All-Americans, both of them, Brutus and Julian. They're both they're both All-American athletes from collegiate, right? So I get they're trying to push that angle. AJ Styles defeats Finn Balor. AJ Styles, again, I got to rep. He's from Atlanta, so we got to rep the Atlanta superstars when we can. Of course, we had A-Town Down Owner. They cut a promo with Kathy Kelly. So also just awesome to see that. We're going to see Grayson Waller versus Sheamus next week. And the one thing I like that they're good at, women main eventing. This match was good too. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus Julia and Roxanne Perez. Let me tell you, I'm a fan of all 4 of these ladies, right? I like Mommy, but I like Io Sky. but I like the prodigy Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez has been going from NXT, well, from Indies to NXT, now to the main roster. So I'm very, very proud of that. I do know I said this as we had our birthday dinner yesterday, and I got some notes from my brothers. I said, do you think they're going to pull more NXT people up to the roster? They brought up a good point. If they can sell tickets, then that's always good. But I want to see more NXT people come up to to the main roster. I want to see Trick Williams come up to the main roster. Honestly, I think it's time for him to come up to main roster. In my opinion, I think if they gave him some merch, try to sell and see where it goes. I am a huge Trick Williams fan, but it's time for him to bring up to main roster, I think. But instead, for the time being, we have Julia and Roxanne Perez from NXT. They're coming up to the main roster now. Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, they conquered, they defeated both the team members with a great match. But then Rhea Ripley looks at the belt like, say, hey, I didn't forget about my belt. I'm coming for that. I'm coming for that title reign. So very, very good Raw all around. Honestly, it was actually not that bad. All except Becky Lynch's promo. And Forbes gave this a C+. Becky Lynch sounds like when she's on a banter, her voice is very raspy too. So I guess I make fun of her because her voice is raspy. But all I heard was, that's all I heard from Becky Lynch. She goes off on a tangent, and I get it. It's a story. They're selling the bad guy. She's now the heel. I think it was not needed. I think they did it because they needed to fill that time, but it was not needed. It was a bit annoying for the most part. It was very, very just kind of annoying when it came down to it because it was just not needed when it came down to her doing her last, her segment cut banter, right? Overall, I got to give Raw a B, maybe a B minus. It was very, very good episode. I can't wait to see what next week happens, what next week will look like. But it was actually a pretty good show all around for May 12th in Louisville. They got a good show. I hope to see more superstars do their thing. I really do hope that. But it was just kind of one of those things that, it was a good episode all around, especially for a good birthday thing there. It was very, very awesome. So I love to see that growth from Raw. Shout out to WWE as always. Saturday they had the event. Now Monday they had the event. So we get on to it. Now, before we get to the game review, I like to talk about Last of Us. You guys know I do every episode nowadays because you guys love the segment that I like to talk about and review the episodes of Last of Us. That is the hit show that I'm currently watching. And stay tuned for at the midweek of this week because we're going to pod again. I'm going to talk about The Pit. I'm going to start watching The Pit right now. When it comes down, because at my birthday dinner, my mom said that The Pit was a very good show. So that might be a show that I dabble on into. Now, The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 5 was Feel Her Love. Now, Ellie tracks down Nora, one of Abby's friends, who killed Joel, seeking revenge. Nora is played by... her first name's Tati. I can't pronounce her last name. Sorry about that, but I can't pronounce her last name. While torturing Nora for information, the episode cuts to Ellie walking up to Joel, suggesting a flashback in their past relationship. This flashback, tongue twister there, T, similar to the structure of the game, allows Ellie to reevaluate her relationship with Joel and the aftermath of his death. This episode explores Ellie's descent into vengeance and impact on Joel's actions on her, ultimately leading to a bittersweet and groundbreaking flashback. Now, they're going in there. Now that we know that Dina is pregnant, now they're going into the depths of Seattle to track down the Wolf organization. And at first, Ellie and Dina, they were kind of nervous because Dina is now pregnant. Ellie was just like, oh, we don't have to do this because I forgot you're pregnant. You're going through it. You're going through some things. But it seems like another organization that they ran into tracked them down. They're running away from this other organization. It's a military organization too. And they run into, what's his name? He plays the I keep forgetting his name every time. Hold on, let me get that name real quick. Because I keep forgetting. Every time he's playing. Hold on, let me get that name because I'm gonna forget. I keep wanting to say that his name is Elliot, but I don't think his name is Elliot. Hold on. Because we're gonna get that name. I'm trying to get that name, guys. I'm sorry. Jesse. I keep wanting to say Elliot for some damn reason. His name is Jesse. So Jesse comes in to the rescue. So Jesse comes to the rescue when it comes down to helping out Dina and Ellie. So now that they're going out there, Jesse has been following Ellie and Dina a day after they escaped from Jackson, right? So now they're going in there. They get separated towards the end of the episode, and as they get separated towards the end of the episode, they're going through. Ellie finds Nora, and let me tell you, Ellie beats the dog shit out of Nora. Again, they run into an infected area where Nora is now coughing. She's dying, and then Ellie said, "Hey, where's Abby? You better tell me where she at." Nora, she's strong now. She said, "Nope, I'm not telling you." She get a pipe and beats her up with the pipe while she's dying, and that kind of ends the episode into the flashback when it comes down to Ellie and Joel. I think in the flashback, maybe in this coming Sunday's episode, we're going to see what happened between Ellie and Joel and what resulted in them to fall apart. And now they're going into that. There's this one cutscene of the episode where when Nora gets caught by Ellie, and she was like, "I'm so sorry that you had to see that. He acted like a little bitch, though." And she was like, "Oh, that's a trap," and then spills her with some chemicals. And, I knew that was coming. Very, very good episode. Each episode is going good upon each episode. It's really, really good. Like I say, The Last of Us, guys, this is a show, again, you guys don't really want to sleep on. This is a show that I just recommend you guys watching because it's really, really good episode when it comes down to it. There's something that is worthwhile. It really is a great thing. Now, before we get to this game review here on the podcast, of course, we got my main man, T. Guys, go check out the Bro Code podcast. It's available right now. New episode is coming tomorrow, but he is also here on our podcast to give us the latest in sports news. Take it away, T.
Thanks, Kennedy. Celtics Jason Tatum has surgery on ruptured right Achilles. The Boston Celtics announced Tuesday that superstar forward Jason Tatum underwent surgery to repair a ruptured right Achilles tendon Tuesday afternoon after suffering the injury late in the fourth quarter of Monday's Game 4 loss to the New York Knicks. The team said the surgery was a success and that no timetable was available for his return. Tatum was in the midst of one of the best playoff games of his career, scoring 42 points on 16 for 28 shooting, before he crumpled to the ground in immense pain with 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter Monday night. He eventually was lifted to his feet and carried off the court, unable to put any weight on his foot. And even though the defending champions moved within a game of elimination with the loss, the focus after the game was almost solely on Tatum's health. "I mean, at this point, I'm concerned about Jason," Celtics center Al Horford said in the locker room after the game. "That's the most important to me. The game stuff will address it, but I'm just hoping that he's okay." Tatum has been one of the most durable and successful players in the league since being selected third overall by Boston in 2017. He's about to be named to his fourth consecutive All-NBA first team, making him one of just 43 players in the history of the league to have made that many, while having turned 27 in March. His 42-point game was the fifth time in his career he has scored at least 40 in a postseason game, tying with Hall of Famers Larry Bird and John Havlicek for the most in the storied history of the Celtics. Tatum led the team in points, rebounds, and assists during last year's run to the team's record-breaking 18th NBA title. He has played in more games than any player in the league since he was drafted, in addition to winning gold medals with Team USA at the Tokyo and Paris Olympics. He's also second only to LeBron James in total playoff points scored to the age of 27, per ESPN research. Now, his availability for not only the rest of these playoffs, but also next season, is in doubt. This is a massive blow to a Celtics team that was looking to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals for a fourth consecutive season. A fifth time in 6 years, and a sixth time in 8 years since Tatum was drafted. The Celtics will now have to find a way to recover from the devastation of not only losing their leader and star for the rest of these playoffs, but also letting a third double-digit lead slip away in this series. Boston led by at least 20 points in each of its home losses in games 1 and 2, before taking a 14-point lead Monday that eventually slipped away. These things happen, Celtics center Kristaps Porzingis said after Monday's loss. Obviously, we all fell for him in that moment, but we just have to keep going. We have to keep playing. Obviously, we all realize in our heads what this could mean. But again, this is part of the sport. It's tough, and it's hard to see and hard to accept the truth. But it is what it is, and we have to go forward with what we have now. The Dallas Mavericks won the 2025 NBA Draft Lottery Monday, securing the no, one pick ahead of the two-day draft June 25th to 26th in Brooklyn. In a shocking twist of fate, the Mavs converted on their 1.8% chance of winning the lottery, giving them the opportunity to select a consensus top player on draft boards for the 2025 class, Duke's Cooper Flagg. The San Antonio Spurs, Philadelphia 76ers, and Charlotte Hornets were also winners Monday night, with their picks landing at numbers 2, 3, and 4 respectively. The Spurs had just a 6.3% chance of moving up to no, 2 from no, 8, and the 76ers a 10.6% chance of moving to no, 3 from no, 5. Their respective jumps created additional chaos after Dallas' surprise win. The Hornets dropped one spot from their slotted odds at no, 3 entering Monday's lottery to no, but still made out well as Utah, Washington, and New Orleans all slid outside the top 4. Flagg, along with an expected 120 other players, including Dylan Harper, Derek Queen, and Walter Clayton Jr., is in Chicago this week for the NBA Draft Combine, G League Elite Camp, and Agency Pro Days. Our team of ESPN draft analysts will provide updates from Wintrust Arena as draft prospects participate in drills, measurements, athletic testing, medical examinations, team interviews, and 5-on-5 scrimmages. Jonathan Givney and Jeremy Wu share their first post-lottery mock draft of the 59 picks, which reflect a thorough evaluation of the 2025 class and considers intel from scouts and front office personnel. The New York Knicks second-round pick was rescinded by the NBA after an investigation into Jalen Brunson's free agency signing in summer 2022. The second round of the 2025 NBA playoffs is here, and our NBA insiders have you covered for every game of the Eastern and Western Conference semifinals. The no, for seed Indiana Pacers kicked off the East semis by taking a 2-0 lead over the no, 1 seed Cleveland Cavaliers, who bounced back in Game 3 only to be routed by the Pacers again in a lopsided Game 4 win that gave Indiana a 3-1 series lead. The Pacers will look to close out the series in Game 5 on Tuesday. The no, 3 New York Knicks took control of their series with the no, 2 seed Boston Celtics with a crucial Game 4 win. The teams will now head to Boston with the Knicks up 3-1 in the series and looking to close it out on Wednesday. In the West, the no, for seed Denver Nuggets, after a lopsided loss against the no, 1 seed Oklahoma City Thunder, came back at home in an overtime victory in Game 3. OKC struck back with a clutch win in Game 4 to even the series. They'll face off on Tuesday to see which team take the series lead. The Minnesota Timberwolves stole Game 3 at Chase Center against the Golden State Warriors before a statement Game 4 win to push their series lead to 3-1. The Wolves head back to Minnesota, looking to advance to the Western Conference Finals for the second straight season. As teams continue to chase the Larry O'Brien Trophy, here's what matters most in both conferences and what to watch for in all 4 series. Back to you, Kennedy.
Thank you, T. As always, my man. Much love, much love. All right, so before we wrap up the podcast, I do have a game review that I wanted to talk to you guys about. And I know I am 4 years late. I know. Because there haven't been any new video games coming out that piqued my interest this month. We're all waiting for Switch 2. By the way, get ready for Switch 2. Hopefully, on June 5th, I will be in the studio with my Switch 2 to give you guys an unboxing video. We're going to do it right here in the studio, and it's going to be part of the podcast, but it's going to be a special episode. So June 5th, we've got about 4 weeks left when it comes down to the Switch 2 unboxing live here at K.L.P Studios, recording studio. But In the meantime, I was able to play this game, and I played it before. I didn't like it. It was too hard for me, is what I say. It was a great game. It was just too hard for me at first. But it piqued my interest recently. I've learned some of the skills, some of the comeback. I've learned the Emmy and how to play the game fully. Ain't on rookie mode because I wasn't gonna play no normal hard mode. I ain't doing that. I'm never gonna play on dread mode. Absolutely not. I turn it off in 2 seconds. But I was able to get further in this game on rookie mode and really understanding the mechanics of this game. I know I'm late, but I need to recant on this episode. This is the game Metroid Dread. I know it came out 2021. I'm late. I get it. But I might have misjudged this game. I might have. This game is actually kind of fun. It's hard as nails sometimes. It's hard to get the mechanic where if you get caught by the enemy, you can reverse and counter that enemy attack. It is so hard to do, but I've done it before. I've done it surprisingly. I'm like, oh shit, I did it. I'm going further into this. Now I'm on the land of Dairon is the next location that I'm on currently. Right. I started at Ateria and then Carteres, and now I'm on Dairon now. So I got far. I got far into this game. I got so far to where I have the morph ball, I have the charge beam, I have the spider suit where you can climb on the blue wall, and now I have the heat resistant thing where Samus is resistant to heat, so I can go into the hot areas now. I got far. I defeated 2 Emmys, surprisingly. I think this game is fun once you calm down. This game is not as hard as people think it is because some people don't play it because it's really hard to evade the enemies. I do got to say, while playing this game on rookie mode is pretty good because once you defeat the side enemies, you get a whole lot of your health back when you do that. When it comes down to the bosses, not the enemies, but the bosses itself, that's hard as nails because it's long. Right, it's very, very, very long. It's a lot of things. It's a very long boss battle, and then you got to make sure your health is good. That's the one thing that I'm kind of struggling on that I wish the game didn't have, that the boss levels was long. Like the first boss that had a little tail thing because it was going to give you the cloak suit. That I felt like it took me an hour to beat that guy because it was just that long. It was very repetitive. I'm doing the same thing, but it was just long. That's the only critique I have on it. I wish the boss levels were simple. Going through the enemy is not bad. You just got to run away from the enemy. I do wish that the counter to the enemies were faster and easier. That would make the game more appealing to me if the enemies were able to be countered easy, because it's not easy. Most of the time I got to run away from the enemy team. Most of the time when I'm playing the game, because I just cannot get the counter act when it comes down to it. But like I said, I did get far in this game. I'm starting to enjoy it a little bit more now. The 2D type of Metroid Dread. Now, I can't wait for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. That comes with Switch 2 later this year. That game is going to be a pickup. I think I'm going to enjoy those type of Metroid games better because it's a first-person shooter. It won't. I have a feeling that game won't be hard as nails as Metroid Dread. But now that I play Metroid Dread now and actually starting to enjoy it, I play a lot more now than I used to, right? But I'm starting to enjoy it a little bit more. Hard as nails, but I got through to it. And I wanted to kind of recant on this podcast because I do know, I judged Metroid Dread before, but I needed to recant again because I'm actually starting to enjoy it now. Very, 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 very good when it comes down to it. Now, before I wrap, because I meant to say that I wanted to talk about this thing, because I like to not talk about reviews and stuff on the podcast. I just like to get that out the way. And if you stayed longer, if you would stay tuned to the podcast this long, we thank y'all so very much. But I wanted to talk about this thing that kind of annoys me, kind of grinds my gears. And I'll say this. And I kind of understand why people are agitated about this thing, T, an audience, because it does make sense why people are mad. Now, we are in the month of May. It's May 13th. So a lot of people are graduating from college, right? I'm seeing it all over Instagram that people are graduating from college. A lot of people are having some viral moments. Some people are very, very excited to graduate from college. I'm going to be the first one to say right here, if you are graduating from college, congratulations. It is a very spectacular moment. I tell students that are graduating now, enjoy that moment, because I graduated college in 2020 to where I didn't have a ceremony, right? Because it was COVID. And I got so busy in 2024, last year, when I graduated again with my master's, right? I graduated my grad school. I got my master's degree. I didn't have a chance to walk that commencement because I was just so busy. I just couldn't make it to California. Now, when I graduated for the third time for my doctorate, if you guys don't know, I am in school now getting my doctorate. When I graduate from my doctorate, I am walking across that stage because it's my doctorate degree. I'm going to be Dr. Kennedy Lucas Patterson. Can't wait. It's coming in 2027. But I kind of feel for the people who going through college, either spending money and actually taking the courses. I'm going to come out and say, I wish we didn't make it a thing and I'll say this because celebrities, it's your money. You do whatever you want to with your money. I can't pocket watch. I can't say it's wrong for celebrities to give money to a school. I can't say that. Right? And I hope I don't regret this if I work in education, but I kind of understand why folks are upset that celebrities post on their Instagram that get their honorary degree by doing absolutely nothing but dumping money on somebody. And you have it to where students who paid hard money to these courses, students who give money to these courses, who put in the hours of these courses. Like, I appreciate celebrities who get their degree because they earned it. They took the courses to earn their degree. But then you have celebrities that go post on social media. Let me tell you why celebrities do this. First of all, it's a tax write-off. If you guys don't know what tax write-offs is, if you make a certain amount of money, you got to donate that money or spend that money some way, somehow, so that your taxes don't get affected heavily. So celebrities give money to schools and say, hey, I'm going to give you $1 million to this program because I want a tax write-off. But then I also want an honorary doctorate degree if I give you $1 million. And in turn, let me be a commencement speaker because it's a tax write-off and it's good for my social media. Duh. Right? And I saw a lot of people post this because, again, I think Joey Badass got his honorary doctorate. Recently, Simone Biles. And I'm not hating so much on the celebrities. Hey, it must be nice to be rich, right? Because when you're rich, you can do that. But I just don't understand celebrities. They post on their Instagram about their honorary doctorate or their honorary degree as if they worked really, really hard for this. Right? And I kind of agree with some people. I wish we didn't make that a thing. Right? Because you had students who legit went through the classes, the courses, the understanding, the knowledge of their degree. So that way, some way, by the grace of God, they hope this degree works into getting their job that they need. Now, honestly, I do want to be dean of students one day. And when I get my doctorate, I hope my doctorate pays off because, hey, that was expensive. It is very, very expensive to go to school. So I'm praying myself, too, that my doctorate works out the way I think it's going to work. But a lot of people pray and hope that it's going to work out the way they want it to work out when it comes down to them getting their degrees. Right? So I kind of understand where actual doctorate students who go through school, who have to spend months in school, write that hard ass dissertation. I believe my dissertation might be a little tough, right? Because you got to write a book when it comes down to it to get that degree. folks are going through those hard tribulations while juggling full-time jobs. And for some of those students who have kids, I saw this one thing, T. A college student is graduating, but she didn't have a babysitter, so she had her 1-year-old with her. Right? So you can only imagine how hard that is, tough and nails that's going to be, raising a kid while finishing your degree. And celebrities, hey, we're rich, so we're just going to dump money this way and give me my honorary doctorate. And I only say that, I only harp on that because celebrities get these things and don't use it. Right? Some celebrities got their honorary doctorate degree or their honorary degree and they're actually using it. But some people ain't using it. But folks like me got to go through the payments and pay for the school. Right? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me harping on it. Maybe it's just me being that one of those college students who actually is doing the work to get this piece of paper, and a lot of other people, celebrities, don't have to, right? I just think it should be, if celebrities do give money, like I said, I'm not hating on celebrities giving money because it's their money, it's their prerogative. But I think if celebrities give money for college for an honorary, now let me walk that back. Now, if a celebrity gives money for a university but don't want an honorary doctorate degree, hey, I'm just giving money just because. Okay, I get that part. But if you giving money and getting honorary doctorate degree, there's got to be some regulations with that. And maybe there's probably a regulation that I don't know, y'all. But there's got to be some way, there's got to be something about celebrities getting an honorary degree that makes it a requirement for some qualities, some qualifications for that. Right? Because I get why people are saying colleges are giving honorary doctorate to these celebrities. They're giving these out like they're hotcakes. Right? Like hotcakes, they're just passing them around like it's nothing. But then you got students who actually are working credit hours to get this thing. Right? I wish I can get my doctorate next month. Right? I wish I can graduate sooner. But it's a process. But celebrities, oh, you can get your honorary doctorate. You're a celebrity, you'll get it in 10 days. That's where I'm coming from with that. And that's where a lot of college people are coming from with that. Right? It's just kind of like, don't joke about a degree for these celebrities like as if it's a game and as if it's a joke. Meanwhile, you have students like me who are actually going through classes and actually taking their degree to heart. Right? Because when I get my doctorate degree, I said this yesterday, when I graduate, my name, Dr. Kennedy, is going to be on everything. All my social medias, all my records, all the files and personal documents that I have is going to be Dr. Kennedy Lucas Patterson because I worked hard for that. I'm going to take that name serious. That doctor, I'm taking that serious. When I sign my name, Dr. Kennedy Lucas Patterson, because I worked hard on it. I don't know. I don't get it. Like I say, celebrities, it's your money. You do what you want. I can't pocket watch you, but you know, I kind of feel for the remaining college people out there for sure that's feeling the same way. So comment below. Let me know what you guys think for sure. That's going to wrap it up here on our podcast here today. We hope that you guys enjoyed this special episode. Again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, stay tuned later this week. We've got, yesterday we did One Big Question with Renee Smith. We hope y'all like that one. Tonight we got our podcast, K.L.P. Aftermath. Tomorrow we're going to have Bro Code Podcast with Terry Tyrus Lester. And we got this new short little podcast. It's called First Minute. Available on all audio platforms, but also available on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Each episode is about 4 to 5 to 7 minutes long, but it's a great segment along with our media. So we hope y'all like that too. The First Minute presented by K.L.P. Entertainment. So that's going to wrap it up here on our podcast. We hope y'all like this one. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Until then, so long, stay safe, stay swanky.